Hello, everybody. Welcome to this month's Deal Clinic Live. I'm happy to see you all for another month, a new month. We have loads of people that have registered, so happy to have you all here. I believe they are joining as I'm talking now myself. So welcome to those that are joining. We have with us Ryan and Tim. Welcome both. Lovely to have you here. So we're going to go through a few deals actually today with regards to some of our sourcing agents that are here with us on the platform. I just want to invite, hello Elizabeth, welcome to yourself, and to Rajan as well, who's just joined. So just with regards to the investors who are here with us live today, thank you so much for joining. And to the investors who will be watching us on replay, thank you for watching us on replay as well. There will be snippets of this going out live from this live to our social media platforms such as Facebook and YouTube. So for those of you that have registered live, you will receive the full recording. For those of you that have registered for the live, you'll receive the full recording to view at your convenience. Now, I do encourage interaction. It helps to build trust and it allows you to see the full workability of the deal and what's actually available on the table. If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop your questions into the chat box. I'll be keeping an eye on that for you, and I'll be putting those questions forward to our agents today. If you have any questions and you're watching the replay, please feel free to forward those questions to us at admin@sourcinginvestments.co.uk. Now, if you are not yet registered and you're an investor and wish to join the platform, please do so by going to sourcinginvestments.co.uk/investor.registration. I will add that link later on for you all. Right, we have plenty of people joining us. So we have Elizabeth, Jesus, Kelly, Paul, Rajan, Ryan, Tim already so far. Beautiful. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our sourcing agents, our presenters today. We have two of our agents. We have Nelson from Property Culture, and we have Emma and Toby from White Door Properties, and obviously myself from SI, Bonnie Marshall, your host. So we're going to go to Nelson first, and Nelson is from Property Culture. Now, they are actually a UK-based sourcing agency that provides bespoke sourcing services. And literally imagine that they're going to be like your personal shopper for property. Now, primarily they cover Liverpool and Manchester in the north, and with smaller locations in surrounding areas, as well as London in the south. They're actually a team of 4 and provide lettings as well as a building team. They have very different strategies across these locations, such as buy-to-lets, HMOs, BRR, serviced accommodation, and others on request. Now, they work direct to vendor as well as working with key agents. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Nelson. Nelson, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. I will take the screen. So thank you for joining us today. So my name is Nelson. I'm based here in Manchester, and I'm very grateful. Thank you for your time and your patience. So today we're going to look into a property in Liverpool, and you will ask, well, why Liverpool? It's because Liverpool, it offers many opportunities. You can get properties that are below £100,000 and generate £500 in rent. It's very hot at the moment. You have a huge influx of people moving to Liverpool, and like Manchester, it offers great potential. HMOs, buy-to-lets, serviced accommodation, many opportunities. So we have this house is a 6-bed, 3 receptions in Kensington. Kensington is about 7-10 minutes to Liverpool city centre. It's a probate property, so the owner is deceased and his relatives who are interested in selling the property. So for this property, there are 2 potential strategies. We can use a buy-to-let as a large buy-to-let, or we can use a serviced accommodation because it's central. So I will look first into the buy-to-let. So they ask for £210,000, but we managed to negotiate to £83,000 in cash. They want cash buyers. To bring it to a standard buy-to-let, it needs a refurb. It's not, there is tenanted. Currently, the property is tenanted, but it needs a refurb. And I took a builder there, and he advised me that for a buy-to-let, we will need to spend £40,000 to increase the size of the kitchen. We'll break one of the walls in one of the receptions just to make the kitchen bigger. The roof is in good state. There's no need to change the roof. A roof is usually one of the most expensive things in a new house. In terms of its location, there are many amenities. There are schools, there are bars, there are restaurants, and is also surrounded by, is in an area that has many HMOs, student HMOs. In order to renovate it to a good buy-to-let standard, it will take between 6 to 8 weeks. After the renovation, the rent, you can extract £2,600 as a buy-to-let. Is also ideal for professionals. The potential audience is professionals, key workers in the area, and also families moving into Liverpool. So he offers a great potential. It's a direct to vendor. So there is always a small margin for further negotiation because it's a direct to vendor. The second strategy is that can be used with this property is service accommodation. So if you look into the rooms, we'll see that it needs a change. It reflects the current owners, but it needs modernizing. So to make it work for this is a kitchen, small kitchen, which they've been refurbishing the kitchen, but then it needs upgrading. You can increase the size of the kitchen. For service accommodation, it demands high standards because it's a short let. So you have people going to Liverpool to spend the night there, and then they will pay £95 per night. So we have this opportunity because it's central, is in Liverpool. It can be used as service accommodation. But to bring to service accommodation, the builder, for that high standard, he advised me we'll need to spend £60,000 in refurb. So this is to create ensuite rooms, also just transform the entire property, painting, decorating. The floor is in good state. It's not a derelict property, and to transform it into a service accommodation, it will take between 6 to 12 weeks. Okay, that's what the builder advised me. There is a service accommodation service in the same street, and the gentleman has an occupancy rate of 70%, and he charged £95 per night. So there's already something similar for us to look into. As a service accommodation, it will generate around £5,000 a month. But service accommodation comes with its cost. It's in Airbnb, Booking.com. So the opportunity, so the property presents huge opportunities: 6 beds and 3 receptions. One of the receptions we will lose one of the receptions by increasing the size of the kitchen. So the potential ROI is 40% as a service accommodation. So this is the property we have now. I'm new into the platform. I joined the platform recently, and we are based in the Northwest. We cover several areas from Manchester, Liverpool, St. Helens, Widnes. The way we work, the way we find out the best way to help investors is based on criteria. So there are 4 of us who view properties on a daily basis: Liverpool, Manchester, and around the north of England. But we work on a criteria basis. So we get the criteria from an investor. So look, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a buy-to-let or a HMO or service accommodation. or a BRR. And this is the numbers I'm looking for. So we find it easy to deliver that if we get a criteria. We'll be very pleased to help you to find properties in the north. There is a lot in here. There is a lot in Liverpool and Manchester, great opportunities to build a portfolio or to increase a portfolio. Liverpool is very hot at the moment. There are many investors, foreign investors, UK-based investors who are attracted to Liverpool for several reasons. You still find inexpensive properties. In Manchester, it's starting to change. We're starting to see an increase in prices. There is a huge development going on in Manchester, and also because of the two football clubs, it attracts a large influx of migrants and students. And there are many people who are moving from London to the north, especially to Liverpool and Manchester, because they can work from home now. So this offers you great opportunities. If you want to invest here, we'll be delighted to help. Okay, so yes, thank you for having me. And if you have any questions about this property or the properties that you might be interested in Liverpool, we got yesterday. We got a portfolio of 4 flats and 2 buy-to-lets. It's also a probate. So yeah, there are many opportunities. If you can give us a criteria, we'll be delighted to help you to find great deals. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Nelson. I do have a couple of questions myself, but Tim has actually asked a question. He said the £2,600 per calendar month rent, that's a great return. Is that for a family or is that on a multi-let, multiple occupancy? So I think he means really more like HMO contract there. So 2,600 for a family seems very high for them to afford. So is that the case, or is that average? If you could answer Tim's question there for us, please, Nelson, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's average in the area. Just to mention the HMO, the Kensington is inside Article 4, so we can't use that strategy. But for a family, for a buy-to-let, that's the average rent in the area. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you mention that this property is in an Article 4 area, so but that means we can't change that into a HMO, right? But it's okay to do to use it as serviced accommodation.
Yes. So it's inside Article 4. You can't use it as a HMO, but you can rent it to as a corporate let. For example, you can rent it to NHS or to a specific company for workers coming to work there, or you can use it as a service accommodation. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much, Tim. I hope that answers your question. I've just got another 2 come through. Oh no, 1 come through, sorry. Elizabeth has asked, Nelson, do you also cover Birmingham?
We have not had a property in Birmingham, but yes, we could find it, because if we get the criteria, we'll be able to help you to find properties in Birmingham. Yeah.
Perfect. So Elizabeth, he doesn't currently cover Birmingham, but what Nelson's saying there is that he can actually look at properties for you. Nelson, what aspects would you really need for the investor to let you know so that you can find the right property for them? What things would you need to know about their criteria? I think that would really help Elizabeth if she could know what to provide you as information, and then you two could actually maybe have a conversation around that.
Yeah, so the first thing is location. It's location, and then is the type of property. Some people focus on buy-to-let, some people focus on HMOs. It's just a clarity. So location, the type of property, and then the budget. So, well, Nelson, I'm only available to spend £100,000, £200,000. The fourth thing is the level of refurb. Some people like unloved properties, but some people want light refurb. They don't want to spend money with the roof, for example, but they're happy maybe to change the kitchen. And then what's the strategy that you want to use? Is this service accommodation or a BRR or HMO? Because every strategy comes on with its own demands. For example, service accommodation requires high level refurb because it's all visual. People take pictures and share them on social media. I've been in this house, it's wonderful. So it's location, the type of property, the budget, but also the ROI. What's the percentage you're looking for? what's the yield you're looking for. And then once we have these details, we'll be able to find the property in a very short period of time. And also, is a tenanted property or is a vacant property? Okay, so some people like tenanted properties because they don't have to do too much. It's already people living there, so it's easy just to move in new tenants. So yeah, it's just location, price, the type of property you want, the budget available, and what's the ROI you're looking for. Is this 20%? It's difficult to find things, and 25% these days, but yeah. The more details we have, the better. But before, we usually meet the investor either online or face-to-face, yeah, to get to know each other and find how best we can help you.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm just letting you had one of the investors called Victoria actually asked for your landing page, so I was just adding in the URL to your landing page again. Elizabeth, I hope that answers your question. She has got another question here for you, Nelson. What are your sourcing fees generally for 2-bed or 3-bed apartments that are rent to sourcing A, so I'm presuming that's rent to serviced accommodation, or is it not the right platform to ask? We do serviced accommodation. Are you looking more at rent to rent, Elizabeth? Is that what your question's asking there? Rent to rent within, if you could clarify that, I'd be most grateful. I think you might be talking about rent to rent within the serviced accommodation model, but if you could just confirm, that would be awesome for me. Thank you so much. Whilst I'm waiting for Elizabeth to confirm that, Victoria messaged and asked for slides. Victoria, they're not so much as slides. What I'm showing, what Nelson is presenting, is actually on his landing page within the platform. So if you do need to join, I will actually add the URL. If you're not currently an investor on the platform, I will add the URL so that you can register to the platform, or you could register to Nelson's landing page himself, which is the link that I sent through previously. So this is to register to the platform as well. Okay.
Yeah, just to add to that, we have a video of this property as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you would be able to share with any investors. If so, in investors, okay, perfect. So for those who are watching live now and on the replay, if you wish to get in touch with Nelson, please do find him on the portal. His company is called Property Culture. You'll be able to find him there, and I will be showing you all how to start a live conversation with both agencies so that you can then get in touch for further information. Sorry, I have more questions coming through. Bear with me, please, folks. Elizabeth has said she's looking for a serviced accommodation in Birmingham ASAP. So Elizabeth, I would recommend that you reach out to Nelson then and see how Nelson can help you further with that. Okay, perfect. Thank you for clarifying. I do really appreciate that. Okay, what else have we got here? Victoria has said thank you. Farouk, lovely to have you here. Farouk, have I missed? Oh yes, I have missed a part of your question. 1 second. Have you got any BRR properties available right now and no money left in the deal by refinancing? That came in 2 parts, so that's why I was a bit confused. So bear with me, folks, on that one. So do you have that, Nelson? Do you have any, sorry, because this question is split across 2 bubbles. Have you got any BRR properties right now and no money left in the deal by refinancing? Farouk, is that for Liverpool, Manchester, London, or a different area? If you could clarify that, I think that would help Nelson answer those questions. While we're waiting for Farouk to respond, I have a question from Paul. Hi, Paul, welcome to the Deal Clinic Live. Paul's question is, how do we know what the internal square foot of this property in Liverpool is?
We will provide them with the floor plan. Yeah, we'll provide them with the floor plan. Yeah.
And the square footage. Brilliant. Thank you. Paul, does that help? I suppose you're looking at that to look from your pound per square foot and how much potential you could maximize on your investment there. Is that right? Okay, just wait for those questions. He's put, yes, thanks. I couldn't see the floor plan anywhere on the deal page. Okay, perfect. So if you contact Nelson via Property Culture, apologies, he'll be able to provide that in the chat when you engage in a conversation with him. Is that okay, Paul? Perfect, brilliant. So Paul said yes, that's perfect. So Nelson, keep an eye out for a conversation with Paul. Also, we've had Farouk confirm, preferably for the BRR with the no money left in on the refinancing, preferably in London, Birmingham or Manchester. That's quite a few opportunities there. So maybe Farouk, what I will do, because that's something that maybe Nelson would have to look into and do the calculations on that. Maybe that's a conversation you and Nelson could have off platform, if that's okay. Does that work for you, Farouk? I will add Nelson's URL link again so that you can connect with him. And as I mentioned before, I will be showing you all how to contact both agencies through the landing page to have a direct conversation with them. So this is the link to Property Culture. Farouk, bear with me. There we go. So if you click on that link, that will take you to Nelson's landing page where you'll be able to have a direct conversation with him, which I will be showing you all later. Okay. Okay, this is brilliant. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, Nelson, for a great presentation. If you could kindly stop sharing your screen, and then I'm going to now talk about White Door Properties, actually. Before I do that, I just want to make sure that everybody here, just have a look at the attendees that we have. So we've had more people join. So welcome to Alon, Ben. I mentioned Elizabeth and Farouk already, Kelly, Mark. Nice to see you, Mark. Paul, Rajan, Ryan, Sophie, Tim, Ursula, and Victoria so far. So welcome and thank you for joining the live. If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box or the Q&A. I'm monitoring both. I'm trying to do the multitasking, people, so please bear with me. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to actually now talk about White Door Properties. So White Door Properties are our UK-based agency as well, and they've recently joined, well established, and have some great opportunities available on the platform already. Now, they operate in the Northwest and also cover strategies such as buy-to-lets, along with commercial and mixed use, just to name a few. They cover the complete process from sourcing the property all the way through to finding you the best tenant. So what I'd like to do now is we do actually have a video, the video bio, which some of you may have seen that went out in the marketing campaign. So I'm just going to show you a quick video of White Door Properties so that you can see the quality and level of work that Emma and Toby work towards. Okay, bear with me. I'm just going to share my screen.
Hi, my name is Toby White.
And my name's Emma Rowland.
Together we run White Door Properties, a growing sourcing company with a focus on client care and end-to-end deal management.
In real terms, this means we don't just source a deal and leave the investors to figure out the rest. Investing in property can often be challenging and complicated, but it doesn't need to be.
Our services including finding high quality investments, mainly in the northwest of England, providing refurbishment assistance and support, including full relevant quotations and project management, assistance with surveys, introductions to the best brokers, solicitors and insurers, helping with the final tenancy and anything else that is required.
We pride ourselves on ensuring that all parties are fully informed, kept up to date and are supported as much as possible.
Covering the northwest of England, specifically Liverpool, Manchester, St Helens and Wigan, ensures that our knowledge of rental demand, tenant types and projected returns are as accurate as possible.
The Northwest is a growing region, and with the HS2 train line due to be completed, prices are expected to rise even further.
Get in touch today to not simply buy a deal, but to work with your new professional, ethical and fully transparent property partners.
Our success lies in helping others achieve higher returns through ethical and stable investing.
Okay, perfect. I hope you all enjoyed that. We definitely did. Okay, so I'd love to hand over now to Emma and Toby of White Door Properties. Thank you both.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Before we jump in, we'd just like to say we're on holiday, so if there's any background noise, we apologise in advance. But having said that, we'll jump straight in. Okay. Can you see my screen? Has that come through? Perfect. Okay, we'll jump in. Okay, so who are we?
Yep, so I'm Emma Rowland.
And my name's Toby White.
And together we run White Door Properties. So I like long walks and yoga, and I do not like getting stuck in traffic.
And I like going to the gym, and I absolutely hate slow internet. It drives me up the wall.
Our business is based on 3 core values.
So first of all, it's based on honesty.
So we operate on the basis of working together. Trust and honesty is our #1 priority.
Number 2 is transparency.
So if something isn't working, we will say ahead of time. We never hide anything or mislead our clients.
And number 3 is integrity.
So we only recommend things we do ourselves. For example, there are certain locations we never source in, even if the deal is perfect.
So what we do and what we source. First of all, we source buy-to-lets, 2 and 3 bedroom houses and flats. Secondly, we source blocks of apartments. So this is typically anything from 2 units up to 20 units.
And then we also do mixed use commercial properties. So this is usually like a shop on the bottom and then maybe 2 or 3 flats above.
And then we also offer guaranteed rent, but more information on this a little later. Now, first of all, the locations that we cover. So we cover Liverpool, St Helens, Wigan and Manchester.
Yep, Liverpool is our main area. So this is sort of our specialty. So we know this area very well. Liverpool is very popular. You can have many different types of investments there and different tenants and different strategies as well.
So Liverpool is a very popular city for all types of investments. You have 2 major football teams here, Liverpool and Everton. You've probably heard of these clubs. There's lots of industry and lots of employment. There's multiple universities, and so the rental demand is absolutely massive. So Liverpool is best for very high cash flow property, which means very high yields. The rental demand is very strong because simply there's not enough houses. So in our opinion, the best kind of deals in Liverpool are buy-to-lets, blocks of apartments and portfolios. Now, Liverpool is not good for some areas don't have very strong capital growth. For example, certain postcodes and certain streets have slower capital growth.
So within Liverpool, the local council has recently brought in the need for a license, a landlord license. It applies to most properties in Liverpool, most postcodes, mostly in the north. It's so that they can improve the quality of rental housing. So they might come out and inspect just to make sure it's all up to a good standard. So the cost for this license is £550 for 5 years, but we can help to arrange, and you can also get discounts, but we'll always mention that in the sort of deal packs if it's needed for that area. So Manchester is another city, popular investment location, but prices here do increase very, very fast.
So Manchester is a growing city with high capital growth, and just like Liverpool, there are also 2 famous football teams here. Again, you've probably heard of Manchester United and Manchester City. No opinions, I'm going to leave it nice and neutral. So in Manchester, there is the HS2 train line, and just like Liverpool, there are multiple universities. And so Manchester is best known for very high capital growth. And in our opinion, buy-to-lets, HMOs and blocks of apartments work very well in Manchester. Now, Manchester is not good for very high yields. Now, because the property prices are so high, the yields tend to be much lower than Liverpool.
And then there's Wigan as well, which is part of Greater Manchester. It's the satellite town to Manchester, just on the outskirts. Property prices, again, are also increasing very fast here.
And so Wigan, just like Manchester, is planned to be on the HS2 train line, so very fast estimated future growth. And it's a very friendly, clean town, lots of industry and very fast price growth. So Wigan is best for buy-to-let and blocks of apartments. And just like Liverpool, the yields are very strong. They are better than Manchester. Now, in our opinion, Wigan is not good for HMOs and cheap property. Now, because it's very close to Manchester, the prices are rising very, very fast.
Yeah, and then finally, there's also St Helens. This is part of Merseyside, which is the same as Liverpool. It's in between Liverpool and Manchester. It's an excellent location for links into both. I'd say especially Liverpool. It's only about a 20-minute drive away.
So St Helens, again, is an excellent location for travelling because it's so central between both cities. So it's excellent for commuting and employment. It's a short drive to both cities. And now because there's lots of hospitals in the close area, it's very good for employment and it's a very family-friendly area. And so St Helens is best for local and long-term tenants. Now, in our experience, the tenants that we've dealt with have stayed there their whole entire lives. And so it's best for buy-to-lets and small portfolios. Now, just like Liverpool, the yields here are very strong. In our opinion, better than Manchester and Wigan. Now, St Helens is not good for HMOs and student tenants, again, because it's quite a family-friendly area. And so here's an example of one of our previous deals. Now, this is in the Liverpool area within the L14 postcode. Now, just as an example, we bought this property for £95,000. Now, the refurb in this instance was only £400. The condition was excellent. Effectively, this refurb was only for the gas and electrical safety certificates. And so the estimated rent was £675 per calendar month. The estimated rental yield was 8.52%, but the actual rent was £750 per calendar month. Now, this is because Liverpool has such a massively high rental demand. And so the actual rental yield post-completion was 9.47%. So this is a fantastic deal for one of our investors.
So we only work with tried and tested professionals and service providers. Companies or individuals that we recommend have been chosen for their integrity and quality. So the people we recommend, we have always worked with them in the past.
So just as an example, we work with a couple of solicitors which cover both English, Mandarin and Chinese. We have 3 build and refurb teams. We have an excellent mortgage broker who only deals in property investment, so he knows the investment market very, very well. We have a fantastic insurance broker, multiple surveyors, multiple letting agents and multiple guaranteed rent providers, but more information on this a little later.
So we offer sort of an end-to-end service, so we can help investors that are completely new or even experienced the whole way through the process. So they are, our clients are always fully informed and supported throughout the entire process.
So on day one, we source and secure a property for our clients. Then we introduce solicitors and mortgage brokers if needed. Then we organise a survey and help with analysing the survey report if this assistance is also needed. Then we'll help to arrange a building refurb quote. Then we'll liaise with solicitors to ensure a timely completion. Then we'll introduce our insurance broker if that's what's needed. Then we'll manage any refurb after completion. And then simply it's our job to find the tenants with a letting agent or getting help set up with our guaranteed rent service. Again, more information on this a little later. So the traditional option for a landlord is to use a letting agent and find a tenant to manage the property.
So a letting agent typically will charge a tenant find fee, which is about £450, £600, monthly management fee, which is about 10 to 12%, and then any other associated fees and costs as well.
So then if a tenant moves out after 6 months, for example, another tenant find fee will due to be paid.
This is a good option for a lot of investors, and if this is the best option, we have fantastic letting agents who provide a great service.
However, we now also offer guaranteed rent as an alternative. Our guaranteed rent service generates higher returns and with agreements as long as 5 years.
Yep, so with the guaranteed rent, you have no monthly costs, no void periods, no tenant fine fees, and maintenance is also included, apart from minor things like the structural, so like damp, stuff like that, the boiler and roof problems.
So we thought to run through a really quick example for you. So let's just say a 3-bedroom house in the L4 postcode of Liverpool. Let's just say the market rent is £600 per calendar month. On the left-hand side, we can see £600. Now, most letting agents charge 10%. Some charge 10% plus VAT, some charge 12%. But as an example, to make it nice and easy, let's just say 10%. Let's say with 5% voids, that's £30. Maintenance, the 5% budget of £30. And if the property was bought with a mortgage, let's just say it's £250 per calendar month. The net rent would be £230. Now, on the other side, with our guaranteed rent, the £600 stays the same, management fees zero, void zero, maintenance zero, and again, if bought with a mortgage, let's just keep it nice and easy, £250 for the rent for the mortgage payments. Now, the net position is £230 versus £450. Now, this is nearly double.
Yeah, and also to bear in mind, with a normal AST, the sort of minimum tenancy is 6 months. Our guaranteed rent agreements tend to be 3 to 5 years.
So these are very passive and hands-off for our clients.
Yeah, so we've worked with people based in the UK and also overseas. Most of our clients come from Hong Kong, and we support them a lot through their property buying process. So we always get good feedback from them, as you can see on the screen.
Perfect. So we thought to provide some value and give some recommendations, especially within the Liverpool area, of where we think it's best to buy. So on the left-hand side, these are some Liverpool postcodes. So L4, L20, L6, L9, L13, L15. Now, the rental demand here is very high, and typically within these postcodes, you'd be looking at young couples and working professionals. Now, just as a rule of thumb, we thought to include some approximate rents. So for a 2-bed in this region or regions, 525 per month to 650, a 3-bed 650 to 800. Now, we also included some other postcodes, L10, L11, L12, L14, L36. Now, again, the rental demand here is very high, but in this instance, the tenant type is slightly different. So in these postcodes, you'd be looking at families and long-term tenants. Now, in these areas, the rents for a 2-bed would be 575 to 700, for a 3-bed, 700 to 900, possibly even more.
But within these areas, so the first lot, you can still get a good yield because the purchase prices tend to be a bit lower. The second lot, the purchase prices are higher, but then the rents are higher as well. So there are some areas that we would suggest not to buy in. So generally, most of the Northwest is good. Wigan and St Helens, they're improving, both look good locations. Liverpool, there's some streets we'd say to avoid. The council are improving the areas. They are pumping a lot of money into it. But these are just some examples of some viewings I did recently. So I went to view the property. The properties itself were good, good condition, but the road I didn't like because it had sort of boarded up windows. And to me, obviously, that's a bad sign. So I always think, if I wouldn't invest there, then why would my investors want to invest there? So we just don't source. That's why I always go and view the properties, because if I don't like the area and the surrounding streets, then we won't sell them.
And so if you want any advice on specific locations, feel free to reach out and we can give you some free advice. So we thought to take you through some of our live deals. Currently, we have a number of properties available. Now, most of these are completely off market and direct to vendor, which obviously means no estate agents. And so today we'll show you 2 buy-to-lets. They are both fully off market and direct to vendor. And so they're both tenanted and in great condition. They're turnkey investments, which mean you can earn from day one. So this is the first example.
Yep. So I worked with this vendor before, so there's 2 properties that we're going to show you who's selling them both sort of as a mini portfolio. So purchase price for this one is 102,500. He actually wanted 125 for both each, but we sort of explained that that's a bit unrealistic. So we brought him down to this much. He might even be open to offers to reduce it even further, especially if it's a cash offer. So it's a 6.03% yield, which we appreciate is quite low. However, what you're getting here is 2 investment properties already completely set up. All the certificates are in place, the tenants are in place, and the only thing you'd need to apply for is the landlord license, because unfortunately it can't be transferred. So both these properties are exactly the same price, same tenant type, exactly the same layout, and same monthly rent as well.
Yeah, perfect. So I'll walk through some of these specifics right now. So again, this deal is completely off market. Now, if you were to find brand new tenants, this property would appeal to families, professionals and students. But once again, this is currently tenanted with fantastic long-term tenants. They've been in the property for at least 12 months and they'd like to stay as much as possible. Now, there are 22 schools within 1 mile. So again, quite a family-friendly area with multiple train stations close by, with the closest being Wavertree Technology Park. Now, again, these guys at the tenants are currently paying £525 per calendar month. Now, in our opinion, this could possibly be increased to £550 in around 6 months' time. Now we've included around a £2,000 refurb, but again, this is mainly for a deep clean, for the landlord licensing and some small bits of minor improvements, but we'll show you a video very, very soon. Now, in terms of the location, this is where they are located in Liverpool. As you can see, they are very, very close to the city centre with multiple train stations close by. Now, there's also a very large Asda just here, and there's also a very large Tesco just to the north with multiple hospitals close by. So great for leisure, retail, and relaxing. And so that is the first property. We thought to show you a brief video of the internals. So as you can see, the property is in absolutely fantastic condition. The tenants are looking after this very, very well. Now, the main benefit with these properties is that you'll be earning instant income.
Yeah, so as you can see, the boiler's in good condition. With this one where we've put a bit of refurb, it's more just for like a paint, like you can see that bedroom, I think one of the kids have drawn on the wall. So it's just to, you know, give her like a paint afterwards. And like I said, we've worked with this vendor in the past. If anything was to go wrong with the property during the buying process, he will fix it as he's going along.
Perfect. Now this brings us on to the second property within this mini portfolio.
Yep, so once again, exactly same purchase price, same yield. It's literally like a 30-second walk away, so they are just around the corner from each other. Same tenant type, I think they might even be family. So yeah, exactly the same. The house itself is also pretty much exactly the same layout. I'd actually say this one's probably a bit better condition. So again, all the area information, all exactly the same because it's just around the corner.
And so we do have some videos for this particular property as well. Now, on the day, the tenant wouldn't allow us to film because of some child issues. So these videos have come straight from the tenant.
So again, they've looked after the property really well.
And this is the upstairs.
Yeah, so as you can see, exactly the same layout. This is just completely typical for this area and this postcode. Most of the two-bed properties are look exactly the same as this.
Thank you very much. Thank you much for your attention, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Toby and Emma, for that. Really love that, and it's always lovely to see a video, I think, as well as static images. It's always great to see a moving video. I was always taught when I was sourcing as well, just to for the video to go from the outside in, so that we know that it's the inside of the actual property. But I know that those are the real insides. So thank you for sharing those. It's nice to know as well that you've worked with this vendor before and that you have the confidence in them. So that will make it a smoother a smoother relationship, so to speak. So I'm checking the Q&A with regards to questions for yourselves, and I have a question from Tim. He's asked, with regards to your properties, he's actually asked about your power team. What is your mortgage broker's position or success in finding refinancing or initial mortgages for guaranteed rental social housing? Have they had any issues in the past?
No, none at all. We've set up multiple deals like that. In fact, a lot of our clients are based in Hong Kong, and he's even found products for those guys as well. So it's not a problem at all.
Yeah, especially he's aware of the guaranteed rent that we do, and obviously he knows that you have to have a different type of mortgage for that, and yeah, he has access to those lenders as well.
Brilliant, thank you for that. Does that help? Yes, Tim said, yeah, thank you, Toby and Emma. Okay, brilliant. No, Ryan has said, well done to you all, it looks amazing. And I'm not sure who GB Law is, but welcome. And they have said excellent. So I have a couple of questions actually, or maybe comments. So you mentioned about the license for the HMOs being £550 each. Is that for any area within Liverpool, or does that vary across different councils within Liverpool at all?
Yeah, so it's there's a link I could send. It's got all the areas that you that covers, but basically it's most of the north. It's typically where you would be buying investment properties because they're sort of cheaper. So the south of Liverpool, like Speke, Garston, you don't need them there, but most of Liverpool you'll need it. It's not for HMOs, it's for all properties. So if you have a HMO license, you won't need this license because you already should be up to spec with that. But with this particular license, yeah, they brought it in just at the start of April, so it's probably still sort of in teething stages. But yeah, it's a bit annoying because you have to buy it per property, not per landlord. So yeah, they might be I'm not sure if they offer discounts. They did do something because they used to do this license a couple of years ago, and then they stopped it. So they might be able to offer discounts and stuff like that.
Okay, so this isn't actually a HMO license. This is a completely new license that they've introduced.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying.
And so April, sorry, go on.
Yeah, start of April 2022, they brought it in. So it's basically just to stop kind of rogue landlords. It's to give tenants sort of better peace of mind, because basically you can apply for the license. They might never visit, but then they could also just say like, right, we're going to come visit, make sure everything's up to spec. So it's just to make sure that landlords are providing good accommodation.
Beautiful. I think that helps us really help clear up the industry, because there's whilst the majority of investors and agents out there are ethical and really operate in an ethical and right way, it's the few that create a bad name for the industry and for us within it. So I think that will help. I think that will help. Obviously, there's a cost to everything, but if it can generate a healthier industry with regards to that, I think that will be a positive. And I worked that out, like literally £550 for 5 years is like £11 a year.
Yeah, it's not that much, and I think you can pay in stages as well. You don't have to pay the full £550 up front, and they have like early bird fees, so you can get it half price, stuff like that. So it's not always that much.
Okay, that's really good. That's really good. So you mentioned your power team. Just to let the investors know, obviously, Toby and Emma have an extensive power team there. As investors on the platform, you also have access to Sourcing Investments power team as well. That includes the likes of obviously our agents, who are a crucial part to the process. You will have legals, you will have mortgage advisors and financing teams. There will be insurances, so everything is there to cover. So please feel free to get in touch with the agents, as well as looking at the platform and seeing who you have access to with regards to that. So when you spoke about St. Helens, just a quick question about that, because obviously when we're overseas, we know mainly about the bigger cities, and we know a lot more because, you know, as you mentioned, rightly so, there are football teams there. So we tend to know a little bit more about those areas. With regards to St. Helens, you mentioned that it was more of a long term and that people generally stayed there for the rest of their lives. So that would be potentially families that is young families that are starting out. They would look at schools and hospitals and things like that nearby. Is that right?
Yeah, so generally speaking, obviously very, very broadly speaking, you know, the largest cities, Manchester and Liverpool, they get a lot of students coming in, so sort of temporary tenants. But again, with St. Helens, maybe a 17, 18, 19-year-old moving out is going to go straight into a rental, and they tend to stay in the area. There's no reason for them to leave, if that makes sense. Again, like you said, they've got the hospitals close by, they've got the links to the two large cities anyway, and that tends to be their hub, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's perfect, and it's good to know where, as you being the local agents, it's good to know where people could actually relocate to, for whether it's, you know, living, new lifestyle, and also from a capital gains perspective there as well. If people are moving into the area, the price of properties will generally, based on historical activities, the prices of property will increase as well. Okay, that was really insightful. Thank you so much. So let me just see if we've got any more questions. No more questions here. I just want to double check. Sorry, this is my tech abilities. Those that work with me know. Let me just see this box here, because we've got two boxes here. That Q&A is fine, and this chat box is all good. Perfect. So thank you so much for presenting. I'm just going to show you all the thank you for the agents who've presented. I'm just going to show the live investors here and those who watch on replay how to actually connect with yourselves. So I'm just going to share my screen again, and I'm going to show the investors how to get in touch with yourselves via your landing pages. So I'm just going to go to here. So this is what the landing pages look like within the platform. So when the agents join, we create their landing pages, and they're able to, this is like their virtual window to their estate agency. Okay, so you have live properties here, you'll have the sold, and you'll be able to see if they're fully compliant. All agents' windows will have the same format. And this is how you can get in touch with the agents yourselves. So can everybody see this live chat button here? Yeah, brilliant. So Nelson, I'm just going to click on this. So you're going to get a message from me. So apologies, but it is just to show the live investors how to actually get in touch with you. So investors that are watching, if you want to get in touch with Nelson, you just literally, it's so simple. You click the live chat button. So once you've registered to the platform, you just click the live chat button, and it will let you know that you're about to engage in a direct conversation. Click proceed. And then that will actually connect you with a direct conversation with Nelson. So you can see here, Nelson and I have already been chatting. So let me just come out of that, and that will allow you to have a quick conversation with Nelson. So for those investors who did have questions and would like further information around the property and maybe potentially other criteria that they would like Nelson to look at for them, for searches, please do feel free to get in touch with Nelson at Property Culture. For White Door Properties, exactly the same. This is their virtual estate agency window here. You have Toby and Emma here. Lovely pics of you both. And then you have their live properties here as well. So as again, as with Nelson, if you want to get in touch with them, you would just use the live chat button, click on this. Apologies, folks, because you're going to get a message from myself. I know that we've already been chatting, and proceed. And that again will connect you in a direct conversation. So I hope that helps. I will now just add one last time the links to their pages so that you can get in touch with them independently if you so wish and start a conversation. If you are going to start a conversation with them, please do use hashtag Deal Clinic so that we know where you have come from. It just helps us understand flow in all honesty, I work with Flow. I like Flow. And so those are both agents, Property Culture and White Door Properties I've shared there. And then for those investors who actually wish to join the platform, here is the registration link for you to go along to the platform and join there. So that is sourcinginvestments.co.uk/investor-registration. So without further ado, I would love to thank my presenters here, Toby and Emma of White Door Properties and Nelson of Property Culture. Thank you so much for your time, your efforts, and giving up your time for this and really showing the investors what you're capable of and your abilities in helping them find the perfect investment for them. So without further ado, I would love to thank you all for attending. Thank you to all the live investors who have come on board and sat through the presentation and asked the questions and given your comments so generously. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. And oh, we have 2 new messages. Sorry, bear with me. Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you. It's all thank yous coming through, guys. So thank you so much. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, GB Law. Thank you, Ryan. Rajan, thank you so much. So thank you to everyone. And for those of you who will watch on the replay, once again, if you do have any questions, feel free to email us at admin@sourcinginvestments.co.uk. And with that, I'd love to say thank you and wish you all a wonderful May. And I'll see you again next time. Take care now. Bye for now. Bye.